Here's some tips on how to pick a channel theme. Channel theme is important because what it does is it allows the YouTube algorithm to send your videos to people who are interested in the topic that your channel is about. Notice I said topic. That's because you should stick to one kind of theme. Uh, for example, can you describe your theme in one or two sentences? For example, this channel is to help people grow their YouTube channels and monetize them. There you go, one sentence. And why is that important? Because if you can't describe what your channel's about, you don't really have a theme. I know that seems weird. I had to learn that the hard way. I had a channel. So I have a channel called Reno Ferris, and it only shows 22 videos. That's because I removed a lot. Um, it used to be 200 to 300, and it has 208 subscribers. And most of that is due to these 3 or 2 videos. Uh, I'll show you these videos. There we go. How to install Microsoft Visual Studio Code from Windows 11 Pro, from Ubuntu, from a Mac. That drew most of it, got me most of the subscribers. At one time, I was getting about 1 subscriber a day. Slow progress, but at least it was steady. However, I couldn't describe what it was about, and this caused a certain problem. I'm going to go into the analytics. So I'm going to look at audience. It's important to know what your audience is interested in. So these are vital. Channels that your audience watches and what they watch, because that tells me, oh, they like these topics. I'll go and put more videos on those topics because you want them to come back again and again. You'll notice that this data isn't here or when the viewers are on YouTube. It's been like 3 years. I mean, how come they don't know when this is on YouTube? So the people who aren't subscribed did a lot of watching. Subscribed only watched a little bit. It's okay. Mostly men. Okay, that's expected because this is what this channel was about. It was about WordPress. It was about coding in PHP, about coding in JavaScript. It was about fixing problems with your Mac. It was about how to process images, like edit images and stuff like that. It was about how to use YouTube. It was about installing utilities like Mac ports, things like that. So tell me, what is Reno Ferris about? Because I don't know. I spent years not knowing. I drove my wife crazy asking that question. What is Reno Ferris about? I drove my best friend crazy. What is Reno Ferris about? And what I didn't realize is this was the important question. If I couldn't describe what Reno Ferris was about in 1 to 2 sentences, I didn't have a channel thing. And the reason I don't know what my channel watches, and I don't even know when they're on YouTube, YouTube, even now, has no idea who the audience for Reno Ferris is for. It's too eclectic. It would have made a great personal channel where I don't care what I put up, I just have a good time. So I decided when I started another channel, it was going to have a very specific theme. That's this channel. This channel is to help others grow their YouTube channel and monetize them. There you go, one sentence. So I don't talk about PHP code on this channel. I talk about growing YouTube channel. If you do want to put a number of topics on it, just make more channels and keep them to one theme. All right, so the next question is, what do you want your theme about? I hope you thought about this, and chances are you have an idea. So, what are you passionate about? What are you good at? And what can you make money on? if you want to make money. Some people don't. So, for example, I was passionate about coding, but I didn't want to go through the effort to make videos about it because uh, it takes a lot of time to edit one to do a really good job. Was I knowledgeable about coding? Yeah, definitely. But my passion for it's good, meh, you know. Um, I also have a problem when I'm not working for an employer of knowing what to code. I've had that problem all my life. Never did much uh, home projects type thing that required coding just because I could never think of what to code. So, what am I good at? I'm good at coding. What am I passionate about? What makes my heart beat is helping everyday people achieve financial independence if they want to, so they don't have to work their day job if they don't want to. I want it to be their choice. Well, the strange thing that happened is I went to research how to grow a YouTube channel, and I realized it's really interesting. I also realized I could do this for years. Most YouTubers stop after 6 months. So make sure you like the topic. Getting off the ground in YouTube is hard. You're going to need your passion to push you through because you're going to see crickets for a long time. See crickets? Probably hear crickets. You're going to hear crickets for a long time. All right. Now, in this case, this channel is a passion project. I'm learning, but I like researching things to death and making beginner videos. And the reason I like making beginner videos is I suffer from major depression and I have almost no memory. So things that I could make a video of something and forget 15 minutes later what I did. There'll be an important step that I keep missing. So I make videos so that I can watch them back and remember that thing I have forgotten. That's why a lot of mine are at the extreme beginner level is I lose my mind on a regular basis. So I can do this for a long time. I've seen a lot of channels been around for a long time. And starting right from scratch to just over the 1,000 subscribers is fairly common in this niche. So, so what are you knowledgeable about? Well, what are you good at? Are you good at your job? Do you want to make YouTube videos about things you do at work? For example, accounting channels do very well, tax channels do well, and corporation channels do well. Well, if you don't want to do about your job, what about your hobby? Are you a coder? Do you fix cars? Do you restore old cars? What if you're a really good parent? What if you just know what to do with kids? So anyway, people like me could really use um, videos on how to parent. And the topics are often on subjects, just life skills. Charisma on command. I'll teach you how to make small talk more interesting, how to have charisma. Uh, Excellent dude is on how to use Microsoft Excel. These are skills that people have. They just happen to be good at it. And they've got entire successful YouTube channels on it. So it really doesn't matter what the skill is you have. You can make a YouTube channel on it. People need to know these things. A lot of people use Excel but aren't experts. People like me could definitely use charisma on command. I've never had charisma. It's always a big mystery to me. And here it's laid out, very easy things to do. Here's one called Easy Actually, which shows how easy it is to do different things. Making friends, being productive, getting ripped, doing taxes. They make it look easy. It shows shortcuts to different things and approaches. The getting ripped one's interesting. Approaches that you've never considered before. Here's one called Primitive Technology. And it's really interesting because he shows how people built things in primitive times with primitive tools. And it's really interesting. For example, I always wondered how did they make like iron smelters to smelt iron out of rocks? And he shows how they did it. It's quite interesting. It's a really fun channel to watch. So pick a skill that you have, even if it's what you would consider a small skill or a narrow area, and make a YouTube channel on that. Now, you might be thinking, but I'm just a minimum wage worker. I don't know anything special. Well, that's interesting because at 48 years old, I had a job as a sandwich artist. I love that expression. At Subway. I was making just barely over minimum wage. It was a tough time in life. Well, for example, I'm going to use an example of the manager. This manager at Subway, she was a nice lady. She was amazingly good at her job. Sometimes I'd try to get away with something, and she'd catch me every time. And I'd say, "How did you see that? You weren't even looking my way." And she'd laugh. Anyway, couldn't get away with anything. It was fun trying. She could make a YouTube channel on how to manage employees. And if she wanted to niche down, she could say, how do you manage employees who are making minimum wage? Because they're actually their own little animal. Minimum wage jobs aren't that hard to come by. You get attitude issues because people know they can leave and get a job tomorrow. So, how do you handle that? Well, she'd be an expert at it because she was really good at handling employees. What skills did I learn there? Well, if anybody has dealt with the public, especially in a retail job, they know the public's insane. So they can start a YouTube channel on how to deal with the public. It's something you think's mundane, everybody knows it, but you know what? We don't. I didn't know how. I never, well, pardon me, I did deal with the public as a child, but on a retail environment, oh, totally different animal. And then I got a job. That Subway job actually got me a job in a call center, okay, because what they needed was somebody who worked with the public. And so, anyway, I got a job at a call center, and I was not diplomatic in those days. And that job taught me how to be diplomatic. It taught me what they called customer friendly phrases and how to put things in a way that the customers would be happy. You know, how do you say no to a customer without the customer getting mad and yelling at you? There are ways. And if you've worked in a call center or worked with the public, you probably know those ways. So you could make an entire YouTube channel that'd be successful for years on how to deal with the public, how to talk to the public. You can make an entire YouTube channel on just how crazy the public is, the bizarre experiences that people have had. You can also make an entire YouTube video on mistakes. Let's say you don't know anything and you've screwed up so much of your life. Those are perfect. Mistakes, blunders, people like to watch them. One, they're fun to watch. Two, they are, they appeal to our sense of, our inner sense of feel. We would like to feel superior, and it appeals to that. For me, if a YouTube video explains why the blunder occurred and hopefully how to remedy it. For example, there's a TV series called When Big Things Go Wrong. And it's fascinating, not only for the disaster aspect, but also they explain how it happened. And it's quite fascinating, actually. So even mistakes, can make a good YouTube channel. For example, I was at a seminar and they read a list of things from, it was a newspaper article. And the person said he was no good at buying real estate. And he listed in this article all the mistakes he made. He didn't list a single thing about how to fix it. He didn't list a single thing about, how he got better at doing real estate? He just listed all the mistakes he made. And the person giving the seminar said, I can write a whole seminar on this. I could write a whole seminar on each one of these points. So there's no shortage of ideas out there. There's no shortage of themes that people can pick. You could also try using ChatGPT to come up with themes. I won't go into that here, but you could do that. What is so obvious to you that you think everybody would know it, wouldn't be interested? I have a friend he's like the ChatGPT whisperer. He can get ChatGPT to do almost anything for him. I can't. I try to do the same thing. It's like, yeah, my results are okay. His are fantastic. And he thinks nobody would want to learn that. So he's like, I'm not going to start a YouTube channel. It's too easy. And that is an area that's perfect for YouTube, because things that are super easy to you are not super easy to other people. Those are the areas you can usually monetize. I'm going to mention one caveat. Just be careful that the area that you're picking is not something that's going to grow out of date or people lose interest in real soon. For example, if you tell people about how to use a typewriter, there's not that many typewriters around right now. Incandescent light bulbs, there's not many of those, so those are little hard topics to do things on. Now you can put a twist on it, of course. You can go and you can mold it into something else. Like, for example, with light bulbs, the light bulb conspiracy is an interesting historical documentary. You could show a YouTube channel on obsolete technology and how people used them back in the day. I think people would find that very interesting. And what can you make a profit at? Well, the good news is if you get enough subscribers, you'll eventually get money from YouTube. Okay, that's good. There's other ways of monetizing. You can sell courses, you can do different things. So the bottom line, the ideal is if you can find the intersection between passion, proficiency, and profit. That's what Think Media says. And they're right. What are you good at? What are you passionate about? And what can you make a profit at? That's the ideals. And can you describe your channel theme in 1 to 2 sentences? If you can't do that, keep working on it till you can. Make the topic broad enough that you can make videos for a long time, and make it uh, a small enough niche that you can actually describe what your theme is. Now, a lot of people go, hey, there's a lot of people out there doing that thing. Yes, for example, for growing a YouTube channel, there's tons of people doing it. But you know what? There's still room. Because the one thing people can't be is they can't be you. You have a unique perspective. You have your own way of explaining things. You have your personality. My best friend teaches courses that are safety courses, and normally the material is very dry, and it's really hard to not be bored out of your mind. Fortunately for him, he's hilarious. He is funny, and he knows how to make things funny. He has ADHD, and he takes full advantage of that because he doesn't want to be bored teaching his courses. So he makes them fun. They're fun for him because then he's entertained. And because he's entertaining about it, the students pay attention and they learn more. If you're able to put humor in a video, people will learn more. It's a very interesting technique. And more importantly, from a YouTube channel perspective, if people find your videos funny, they'll keep watching them. You'll get a higher retention. They'll watch the whole video instead of a few seconds. And the YouTube algorithm loves that and will keep feeding your videos to more people. And your channel will grow faster. So after pondering it, you've probably come up with an idea for a theme. You got your theme, and that's like,
What do I call my YouTube channel? What name should I give it? For some insights into that, take a look at the video in the upper left.